रब राखा रब राखा रब राखा रब राखा रब राखा रब राखा ये खुशी का समा दिल में गूंजी है शहनाइयाँ ये खुशी का समा दिल में गूंजी है शहनाइयाँ ये हंसी ये दिलनशी एक मोहब्बत है जो दास्तां रब राखा रब राखा रब राखा रब राखा रब राखा रब राखा Celebrate the feeling on a day and evening beautiful hearts are beating love is in the air Celebrate the feeling
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to Akshay and Richard. Let's do this.
मेरी सांसों को
All right, here we go. Let's clap. Come on.
तेरे पास और मुझे हुआ ऐसा तू मेरी
Oh, yes. Here we go.
होने लगा मैं तेरा तू मेरी होने लगी ऐसे ये
Oh, yes. Somebody scream in the house. Come on, let me hear you. Make some noise. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Our MCs for the evening, Akshay and Richard. Let's give them a round of applause. Come on.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Woo! Namaste, pranam, sat sri akal. Are you guys ready to party? Are you guys ready to get Aki married? Woo! Let's go.
All right, everyone. So I'd like to first introduce myself. My name is Richard Huang, and I am friend of Aki's and Karan's. And I actually flew here all the way from Shanghai. Thank you. It was a very long flight. I know it's not as long as India, but hey, I give myself some credit for being here. And honestly, I came because I heard this Incheon bamboo village was really good, according to Aki. So I'm just here to kind of figure that out, but it's really good.
I don't need any introduction. If you guys don't know who I am, you're at the wrong wedding. But I hope you guys came with your bellies full and your livers because we are about to get rowdy. Richard's from Shanghai, but we've got people from all over the world. Virginia de Vich, where are you guys at? Let's make some noise. Bay Area, let's hear it. Yeah. Let's do it one more time. These Virginia people have a lot of power. Let's do it. Yeah. And we've got people from India, from Dubai. My dad's best friend is here from the UK. So we're about to have a great party for you guys. I hope you guys are ready. To kick the show. New York. Oh, yeah.
And Philly.
Oh, yeah.
Where are my Philly people at? There we go.
My father-in-law needs a moment. Love you, Papa. All right, so the first show we're gonna have is my sister Sona. She's gonna put on a dance for her uncle Didi and her Karan Jiju. So let's get that started.
I'd like to invite them.
Lamborghini chalai jane o sanu vi jhuta de do ये भी न जाने की कोई रीत न जाने मैं तो बस तेरी हुई दीवानी मिला जो संग तेरा उड़ा पतंग मेरा हवा में होके मलंग मैं छुड़ाई घर बार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना अब तू ही है संसार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना ये पागल सा है प्यार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना मैं छुड़ाई घर बार मेरा ओ मखना छुड़ाई घर बार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना अब तू ही है संसार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना ये पागल सा है प्यार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना मैं छुड़ाई घर बार मेरा ओ मखना
Thank you, Sona. That was great.
Let's give Sona another big round of applause, everyone.
So Anku and I go way back, like way back. We're about to turn 30 in a month. We're getting old.
Can't say that in front of everyone.
That's okay. Everybody knows. So I've known her for about, 30 years and 8 months? And she's been a pain in my side since that time. I mean, I love her, but just to give you an example of how much of a pain she was, when I was born, my ears were actually squished to the side of my head.
Oh.
They're actually kind of different. Because she was so big and she used to bully me. And so, I came out slightly different. But, people are how they're shaped. And they're shaped by their parents. Our parents make us, and you guys fell in love because of who you are, and you are who you are because of our parents. And so the next performance is by our parents. And so, put your hands together for the Verma and the Meras.
दो नैन सितारे है चांद समखड़ा क्या कहना उसका आफरी दावत में जैसे हो शाही टुकड़ा उसके जैसी न कोई नाज़नी शाही जोड़ा पहन के आई जो बंधन के वही तो मेरी स्वीट हार्ट है शर्माई सी बगल में जो बैठी है दुल्हन के वही तो मेरी स्वीट हार्ट है शाही जोड़ा पहन के आई जो बंधन के वही तो मेरी स्वीट हार्ट है शर्माई सी बगल में जो बैठी है दुल्हन के वही तो मेरी स्वीट हार्ट है लगता है शादी घर में उसके आने से जैसे चल के आई है खुशकिस्मती सारी महफिल की वो जान बनी है क्या कहना उसका आफरी मुफलिस के दिल का अरमान बनी है उसके जैसी न कोई नाज़नी शाही जोड़ा पहन के आई जो बंधन के वही तो मेरी स्वीट हार्ट है शर्माई सी बगल में जो बैठी है दुल्हन के वही तो मेरी स्वीट हार्ट है
That was great. Those
Come on.
2 months of
That was-
practice really paid off. So Anku and I were born and raised as equals. We're twins, and in everyone's eyes, we're the same. But that wasn't really the case. Anku was better than me at everything. She was smarter than I was. She got better grades than me. She was an athlete, I wasn't. I was a sickly child. She was a swimming champion. And she was better looking than me as a kid, to be honest. Chote Nana had a nickname for her, Madhushri Dikshit, for Madhubala, Sri Devi, and Madhuri Dikshit. But that was when she was a kid, because look at me now.
Hey.
Anku has been my best friend since I can remember. We did everything together. We went to the same school, we had the same friends. Honestly, we moved so many schools and so many cities, I couldn't have imagined having an easier time if she wasn't around. So honestly, she made my life better. And it was her that I always looked up to as a friend. But, you know, as you grow up, every now and then, people come along, new friends are added, and Vartika is one of those friends of Anku. She loves her so much, she found a husband in Jersey, moved all the way from Sydney just to be here. And so, next speech is by Vartika. Vartika, grace us.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to see everyone's having a good time so far. So my name is Vartika, as Akshay just introduced me, and Akshita and I go way back, not as far back as Akshay referred to, but we met when we were 15 in Sydney, Australia. So when Akshita used to live in Australia, that's where we met. Our parents were family friends, and we went to the same high school. So that's where we got to get better friends. I guess there's really not much I can tell you about Akshita, Karan, that you probably haven't figured out yourself. I really thought hard about this. But, you know, I did want to mention, as one of her oldest friends here, me standing here today is testament to the fact that Akshita, as an individual, as a friend, she just really nurtures all relationships in her life and for all the people that she cares about. And we've been friends for 15 years plus. We've gone through the long distance. We've gone through all the phases of our life, every weird thing. We've been through it all. She's been there all throughout. So I guess what I wanted to express through sharing that is that she is going to be your ride or die. She's going to really put the effort to keep you two just doing really well, and she's just going to show up every time for you. And there's really not much I can share because it's just not appropriate. But Karan, I just wanted to touch on you a little bit. You're an absolute sweetheart from what I've got to know of you. And, you know, just the stunt you pulled, sending the postcard from the museum from one of your dates, I just knew in that moment you were going to win her heart and you were going to be my Juju one day, and here we are. So, now remember though, the key is to be consistent. So she loves her manicures and her face masks, so indulge her a little bit from time to time. And she loves her mochi ice creams. But most of all, she loves her so fish, which is fish cooked in mustard oil. So if you ever need to learn that on how to make it for her, just remember I'm only an hour drive away. So I'd be happy to help. But now I'd just like to end with wishing you both the very best for this new life as you continue to love each other and make each other laugh and build a good stash of happy memories along the way. Love you both, the new almost Mr. and Mrs. Mira.
Anku and I are musically inclined, so I like to think. She grew up playing the piano. I grew up playing the guitar. I think my parents thought we would make a great band together. Never really happened. Anku sucked at the piano. I sucked at the guitar even more. And so, you know, the best we can do is probably shake just a little bit. But, you know, I can't sing. Anku definitely can't sing. And so, thankfully, we have some very talented people in our family. Our Babu Mama, Rajiv, is actually up next to perform. He's got a couple of songs that he's got ready. And Churumuru, our brother will also be performing. So let's get ready for them.
Yeah.
All right, I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear, can you? Okay, thank you. I don't have to speak much, I'm gonna sing for you guys. And congratulations, Anku and Karan. You guys are the best. And sorry it took a while. You know, you guys have to wait sometimes for good stuff. All right.
जीना 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 रे उड़ा गुलाब माही तेरी चुनरिया लहराए जीना 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 रे उड़ा गुलाब माही तेरी चुनरिया लहराए रंग तेरी रीत का रंग तेरी प्रीत का रंग तेरी जीत का है लाई 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 रंग तेरी रीत का रंग तेरी प्रीत का माही तेरी चुनरिया लहराए जब जब मुझ पे उठा सवार माही तेरी चुनरिया लहराए जीना जीना रे उड़ा गुलाब माही तेरी चुनरिया लहराए जग से हारा नहीं मैं खुद से हारा हूँ माँ एक दिन चमकूंगा लेकिन तेरा सितारा हूँ माँ मायरे मायरे तेरे बिन मैं तो अधूरा रहा मायरे मायरे मुझसे ही रूठी मेरी परछाई ओ मेरी परछाई तेरा ख्याल माही तेरी चुनरिया लहराए जीना 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 रे उड़ा गुलाब माही तेरी चुनरिया लहराए रंग तेरी रीत का रंग तेरी प्रीत का रंग तेरी जीत का है लाई 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 रंग तेरी रीत का रंग तेरी प्रीत का माही तेरी चुनरिया लहराए जब जब मुझ पे है उठा सवार माही तेरी चुनरिया लहराए जीना जीना रे उड़ा गुलाब माही तेरी चुनरिया लहराए
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the next one is it's a little somber song, but I guess it's so beautiful that overrides it. It's called तुझसे नाराज नहीं जिंदगी. Is it a good song?
तुझसे नाराज नहीं जिंदगी हैरान हूँ मैं हैरान हूँ मैं तेरे मासूम सवालों से परेशान हूँ मैं
परेशान हूँ मैं, तुझसे नाराज नहीं जिंदगी हैरान हूँ मैं, ओ हैरान हूँ मैं, ओ तेरे मासूम सवालों से परेशान हूँ मैं, ओ परेशान हूँ मैं, जीने के लिए सोचा ही नहीं दर्द संभालने होंगे, जीने के लिए सोचा ही नहीं दर्द संभालने होंगे, मुस्कुराए तो मुस्कुराने के कर्ज उतारने होंगे, ओ मुस्कुराऊं तो कभी यूं लगता है जैसे होठों पे कर्ज रखा हो, ओ तुझसे नाराज नहीं जिंदगी हैरान हूँ मैं, ओ हैरान हूँ मैं, ओ तेरे मासूम सवालों से परेशान हूँ मैं, ओ परेशान हूँ मैं, आज अगर भर आई है बूंदें बरस जाएंगी, आज अगर भर आई है बूंदें बरस जाएंगी, कल क्या पता इनके लिए आंखें तरस जाएंगी, ओ जाने कब गुम हुआ कहाँ खोया, एक आंसू छुपा के रखा था, ओ इतना नाराज नहीं जिंदगी हैरान हूँ मैं, ओ हैरान हूँ मैं, ओ तेरे मासूम सवालों से परेशान हूँ मैं, ओ परेशान हूँ मैं, ओ परेशान हूँ मैं, ओ परेशान हूँ मैं।
Thank you.
So I would love to hear more singing and dancing coming from everyone as we kind of continue the night. But next up, we actually have a few words from one of our great friends of Karan's, Phil, actually. So Phil has actually known Karan for probably the longest, other than his parents and family members. So let's give a round of applause for Phil Tran, who's gonna give us a few words.
So I want to start off saying thank you to everybody for coming out and being here for Karan and Aki's big day. For those who don't know me, my name is Phil Trang, and Karan and I met back in 2003, sitting next to each other in our civics class in 7th grade. Karan had just come to the US. His go-to wardrobe was the baggy South Pole hoodies, the baggy jeans, and he would always make these rap references. And that's actually what started our first conversation, talking about who the best rapper was and trading CDs that we would bootleg. And ever since then, we really started hanging out on the daily. Karan, behind the baggy clothes at that age, was a softie at heart. There was one time where he showed up to school fairly late, and I said, "Hey, why'd you show up late?" And he said, "Phil, on the way to the bus stop, this deer looked me right in the eyes and just charged at me, and I ran all the way home and made my parents drive me to school." To this day, I don't think I believe that story, but we can talk about that later. I'll take your word for it since your parents say it is. But over the years, I've seen Karan go through different phases in his life. So he went from a softie to a hardcore rapper. He called himself K-Dog, got himself a microphone, and never looked back. At the time, there was a popular song that some of you may know called 24s. It's about, big rims and cars. And he decided to remix the song and call it 94s. Now you may be wondering why he called it 94s. Luckily for the audience and for Karan, fortunately, I dug through 14, 15 years of hard drives and external data sources and was able to find the song. So let's take a quick listen.
I need foes, quizzes and tests. That's why I am the best. I get all A's, I study every day. That's why I beat the rest. And I need foes, quizzes and tests. That's why I am the best. I get all A's, I study every day. That's why I beat the rest.
So unfortunately, Karan's rap career did not take off. He did not make millions of dollars and become the next Jay-Z, so he decided to go to UVA. I think was safe bet. So we ended up going to different schools, and although we didn't, talk every day or see each other every day, whenever we got together, we picked up right where we left off. It takes me back to a memory or a conversation we had in 2017. We were back home, we visited our parents for Thanksgiving, and we were hanging out on Black Friday doing some shopping. But Karan seemed different. He was a little distracted, anxious, excited all at the same time. Never really seen him that way. And he said, "Hey, Phil, I got to tell you something." I was like, "Hey, are you okay? What's wrong?" He said, "There's this girl on this train that I take to work every day, and her name is Aki, and she is way out of my league. She's so gorgeous. I don't know how to approach her. We have mutual friends, and we spent that entire weekend talking about the approach and the game plan. And I think it's just safe to say the plan worked out." Karan is one of the most family-oriented, kind, genuine, and hipster person I know now. Through the ups and downs, he always comes out on the other side a stronger man. And thank you to Jyoti and Kamal for raising Karan to be the man that he is today. A great friend, son, and husband. Although I haven't gotten to spend much time with Aki, I do know a couple things. I think the first thing is Aki has made Karan one of the happiest men on earth. Over the years, I've never seen Karan this, pressed about a girl when he was first talking about her, and I truly know that everything he was looking for in a partner and a best friend, he found that in Aki. So thank you, Aki, for coming into Karan's life at the perfect time and changing it for the better. If he ever gets too hard to handle or decides to relive his rap career, please give me a call and we can talk him out of it. So with that being said, I want to wish the both of you a lifetime of happiness, success, as you move forward in life as one, support each other, take care of each other. Thank you for allowing me to speak, and let's have a great time tonight with the celebration. Thank you.
All right, let's give Phil another round of applause. That was amazing. Honestly, that was amazing on a couple of points, right? The first was the fact that he acknowledged that also Aki is out of Karan's league, which we all know, right? But of course, the real big one was Karan's rap career. That was a soundbite that was deep in the archives. I think Phil's gonna start selling that on the black market, so anyone who wants to bid on it, to hold it against Karan, please go and reach out to him. But in all seriousness, I think it's everything that Phil says is true, right? Our friends here acknowledge the great person that Karan is and the even greater person he is with Aki. So without further ado, let's keep this party going. Next up, we're gonna invite Aki's dear friends to come up, who they've also coined their wonderful name, Aki's Angels, to give us a performance. So let's give a round of applause to Aki's Angels.
तू नज़्म नज़्म सा मेरे होठों पे ठहर जा मैं ख्वाब ख्वाब सा तेरी आँखों में जागूं रे तू इश्क इश्क सा मेरे रूह में आके बस जा जिस ओर तेरी शहनाई उस ओर मैं भागूं रे मेरे दिल के लिफाफे में तेरा खत है जानिया तेरा खत है जानिया ना चीज ने कैसे पाली किस्मत ये जानिया वे मेरे दिल के लिफाफे में तेरा खत है जानिया तेरा खत है जानिया ना चीज ने कैसे पाली जन्नत ये जानिया वे तू नज़्म नज़्म सा मेरे होठों पे ठहर जा मैं ख्वाब ख्वाब सा तेरी आँखों में जागूं रे तू इश्क इश्क सा मेरे रूह में आके बस जा जिस ओर तेरी शहनाई उस ओर मैं भागूं रे
ले गुजारा कि मेरा तकालियां रंग दिया मैं नूर ता प्यार वालियां ले गुजारा कि मेरा तकालियां रंग दिया मैं नूर ता प्यार वालियां तेरे बाजों जी नहीं लगदा तेरे बाजों जी नहीं लगदा मैं ते मर गईयां अज सोहणिया
Wow, that was amazing. Can we get another round of applause for Aki and her angels?
What's your favorite song again? There we go.
So I know that Aki is an incredible dancer because she has also been doing a ton of performances in Philly. If there's anybody who's in the Philly area and there's a show, you have to go watch her. So next up, we do have a special guest joining us to give a few more words. But before we get this person up on the stage, I really want to share a story about this individual and Karan. So this story goes back to 2011 when Karan and I first met interning at Merck. So we stayed at the UPenn dorms, and one night when we were out and about, Karan was actually not 21 at the time. And in the States, the legal drinking age is actually 21. So what does Karan do, being the genius that he is? He reaches out to his amazing network of friends who gives him bad advice and things like that. So he went to a good friend, Amit, who's here with us today. And Amit gives him an ID, and Amit at the time was actually 21, right? He gives him the ID. We go to a bar. We say, yes, Karan, we're gonna give you your first ever alcoholic drink at the tender age of 20 years and a couple of months. But then we were rejected at the door because the bouncer said it was a fake ID. But it was a real ID, and Karan was arguing with this bodyguard, it's a real ID. It's not mine, but it's a real ID. Needless to say, we didn't get into the bar, we didn't have the drink, and of course, Karan probably had his first drink after he was legally 21. So without further ado, let's invite this supportive friend, Amit, to say a few words about Karan.
So as Richard mentioned, my name is Amit, close friend of Karan's from back in college. I asked if I could do a solo dance, and everyone said no. And I have my phone here because my wife, Richa, told me to stick to my script and make sure I don't come up with any other thoughts or ideas while I'm up here. The solo dance was one of those ideas. So if you've seen me around this week, Karan has been introducing me like a brother or even an older brother. I'll start with a quick story on how that originated, and it goes back to 2008. Karan and I were both at UVA. He was an incoming first year, and I was in my last year of college. And we were both part of an organization called the Indian Student Association. Woo! And there was a program called the Little Sib, Big Sib program. So Karan and I got matched up together, and I was basically responsible for giving him some advice on how to get around college, how not to use fake IDs. Sorry, that's not in the script. And basically, in the beginning, our relationship was pretty uneventful. We met up a few times over the first semester. I would give him some general directions or show him around. And my first real memory of Karan is probably November, December that year. We've known each other for a couple months. It's a Friday afternoon, and he calls me. I think I'm leaving class at 2 o'clock, and he's like, hey man, I've got a bus in 45 minutes, and I have no way of getting there. Can you please take me? And I mean, I had a car, so I was definitely cool. But, sorry, that wasn't in the script. I was like, sure, I'll help him out. He's in an emergency situation. So after that, these emergencies started happening a little more regularly. And every time, it was 45 minutes away, and I was the only solution. So he really played the little sibling card as hard as he could. Well, fast forward a few years, and we're both living and working in Philadelphia now. This is 2011, 2012, when he moved to Philadelphia. At this point, I still see him as a little brother who I need to look out for and bail him out of a few situations here and there. So I tell him what neighborhoods he should live in, what streets he can walk on, where to get food, things like that. But pretty quickly, we started to actually hang out. We would grab dinner. We would meet up on the weekends. We would go to a Redskins-Eagles game. Eagles would usually win. And I'm seeing him grow up and go through a lot of the same experiences in work and life. And we start to get on the same level as adults. I don't see him as much of a 3-4 years younger than me anymore. We even lived together as roommates for a year, and 1 year was definitely enough. So over the last couple of weeks, I've spent a lot of time thinking about why we're friends and why our friendship has continued through all these different phases of our lives. And I'll try to summarize it in a couple themes that come to mind when I think about why I hang out with Karan. So first, Karan constantly surrounds himself with those closest to him. If I invite him over to watch a basketball game, he'll usually come with about 4 to 12 other people. And so he has this innate ability to just gather a group of friends in a moment's notice. And he looks after everyone in the group, makes sure everyone is comfortable and having a good time. And you can see him feed off this energy of emotions, stories, and experiences. So, you know, even this weekend, he's calling up people at 7:30 in the morning to go get coffee, to come over to his suite and just hang out. Like, that's just who he is. Second, Karan has a great storytelling ability. So it doesn't matter how boring of an event happens, Karan has a way of just exaggerating it out, right? So, you know, he somehow has time to watch every special on HBO, Netflix, Showtime, and then also listen to every podcast out there. I don't know how he does it, but from all this, I forgot to mention all the latest Drake albums as well. So from all this, he takes in all these stories about the world, and he loves to share them and dissect them with his friends. He has this just energy about him that he loves to share with the world, and just loves to dive in. So those are two themes. That's basically why we're friends. But going back to stories about just our friendship, we were at a friend's wedding a couple of years ago, and Karan mentions the existence of this girl to me. Kind of similar to Phil. He's a little nervous. He's trying to figure out how to go about making this work. So he's like, there's this girl at Merck that I really like and I'm really interested in. Over a few weeks, he calls me up, he calls my wife Richa up, and he's like, what can I do? What can I do to win her over? So there were, I think in all of this process, there was a custom Salman Khan mug involved. He was asking for recommendations on how to throw a Diwali party. We made some custom Spotify playlists from 1990s Bollywood for him. And all of this just to impress Akshita. So, you know, through all of these moments, I see this excitement in him that I've never seen before. And instead of being happy for him, I was a little scared. I hadn't met her yet. I was actually living away from Philly for a year, and of course this is when it happens. And I'm trying to figure out who is this young lady that has swept him off his feet, and he's going through all this trouble to impress. So I really, really hoped she was the one, because it felt like he's fallen off the deep end in love with her. So shortly after, I actually get to meet Akshita in person. I think it was another friend's wedding. And I'm pretty sure I played the angry father card at her. Just trying to size her up and make sure this is really worth investing in. So, but I quickly realized that she saw the same spark and feeling for Karan that he had for her. She laughs at his bad jokes, and has accepted all of his different hairstyles and beard styles over the years. So You know, I knew it was gonna work out. All right. So Akshita, even though I haven't known you quite as long, you've become quickly entangled in our friends group, and we see how you both keep each other very happy. My only ask is that you accept all of his faults, let it go when he makes mistakes, and continue to let us all in to sharing time with you both as you build your lives together. I know you both are going to have an amazing journey together, and I hope you know Rich and I will always be here to make more fun memories and occasionally bail Karan out of those situations. So, I know I'm talking for a really long time, but I have 2 more points. So, first, Karan missed my wedding 2 years ago. Boo. And every time he takes a vacation or goes to another friend's wedding, I take an opportunity to remind him that he skipped my wedding and instead went to Spain or his friend Phil's wedding. So today, you know, I'm really glad you like Akshita more than me. And you decided to go to her wedding instead of mine. All right. Final thing. I'm gonna leave you guys with a question. So you see me as a brother. When is that label gonna change from a brother to an uncle of Mara and Burma baby? Congrats.
Marriage. Marriage is an interesting concept to me. You go your entire life, you know, growing up around a few people, you get to know them really well. And then in a matter of a few months or a few years, you get thrown into all these new relationships. In Hindi, we call it a sasural, which is Virginia, right? For Anku, for Karan, it's us. But those old relationships never go away. The mica is always there. So there's a song, and some of you might know this song pretty well, or at least this line. मैं मायके चली जाऊंगी तुम देखते रहियो. Thankfully for Anku, she's got a lot of options. She's got San Jose behind her. She's got San Francisco in front of her. She's got Jersey, she's got Dubai, she's got a bunch of places in India, she's got Australia, she's got a lot of options. So Karan, if you ever get into a tiff, she will go back to her mic and she's got a lot of places to go. Speaking of mic, they're all here and they've got a dance ready. So they're about to put on a show. Are you guys ready?
आजकल तेरे मेरे प्यार के चर्चे हर ज़बान पर सबको मालूम है और सबको खबर हो गई तो क्या आजकल तेरे मेरे प्यार के चर्चे हर ज़बान पर सबको मालूम है और सबको खबर हो गई
One to do, oh kudiye what to do, oh ho gayi munde di patanga varigi, tu ave uddidi, oh ho gayi munde di hilla te chaldi, tuk tuk tu kardi, makeup tu kardi angrezi paddi, kit pit tu kardi, jimme queen saadi Victoria, tu canti big band पूरा लंदन ठुमकदा ओ जदों नचे पैन दी पूरा लंदन ठुमकदा तू घंटी बिग बैन दी पूरा लंदन ठुमकदा ओ जदों नचे
All right. Thank you, Verma Clan, for that amazing performance. Let's give another round of applause. Woo!
That's what 2 hours of preparation is gonna get you guys.
Hey, but I thought their energy was pretty good up there.
It was really good. I know my people, it was good.
So, of course, having our friends and family here, we're blessed to have everyone join us. So thank you and give yourselves a round of applause just for showing up. And for Aki and Karan, through their lives, they've kind of known a certain set of people, their family, their friends. And once they graduated college, they moved to the foreign land of Philadelphia in order to pursue their jobs and their careers, away from their family. And it must have been hard, right? But of course, in Philadelphia, and I can attest to it that myself, they both found each other and also the amazing friends that are also here to join them today. So my Philly folks. And of course, some of Aki's closest friends and family that she has in Philadelphia are Lisa and Anita, who's gonna come and give a few words.
Hello, everyone. For those of you who do not know us, we are Lisa and Anita, or as we like to call ourselves, Aki's Train Boos. The first time we met was on the train platform after work, waiting to go back to the city. We waited, and as Aki insisted that she saw a moving light at the end of the platform, and it must be the train arriving any minute now. Turns out she was about 50% right. It was a light and it was the train, but it hadn't moved an inch in the 2 hours that we were waiting. Well, misery does love company, especially really good company. And thus began the friendship of the train girls. We have shared so many great experiences together since that fateful day. Yoga on rooftops and sculpture gardens, dancing together.
We have even danced with the famous actor, James McAvoy. So if you want the rest of the story, ask Aki, she loves to tell it.
Our train commutes were our new happy hour, analyzing every Marvel movie and being disappointed with every Game of Thrones ending.
Needless to say, we were a tough act to follow, but one day along came Karan and completely swept her off her feet. The first time I hung out with them as a couple was actually at a haunted house in South Philadelphia during Halloween. Who'd have thought? As some of you may know, Aki scares really easily. So she was jumping at every scary thing and every scary move. And Karan, sensing an easy opportunity for being heroic and chivalrous, surged ahead and fought off all the demons for Aki. They were just like actors, actually. But at the end of the night, as I looked over and I saw that he was holding Akshita's hand the entire time that night, it was downright adorable. So that was my first introduction to them as a couple. Speaking of Halloween, we have loved their costumes over the years. There's one time that they dressed as a honeybee and a beekeeper. Last year, it was Sherlock Holmes and Watson. But I hear that they have a really funny one coming up right here tomorrow. They're going to be dressing up as bride and groom. So make sure you don't miss that.
Aki herself is a bundle of contradictions.
For example, here comes this part. She's always looking to eat healthy things, which is good. But she also spends an awful lot of time watching videos on Instagram of street vendors piping out hot jalebis, which is like her favorite.
As an Australian native, she loves to scuba dive, but really hates reptiles. Try sending her a pic of an iguana if you want to get blocked from her contacts.
She loves to dance, and she really loves her dance crew, wherever they are. But every week, come Wednesday, she's really praying for like a blizzard or a snowstorm so that her dance rehearsals are canceled. Well, she is, after all, an Indian girl with an Australian accent, a new American citizen who lives in Philadelphia and is getting married in California. So I think contradictions are to be expected.
Okay, so here comes the emotional part. Aki always greets you with a big smile and a warm hug. She deeply cares about her friends and is always there to support you through thick and thin. Alak and Kavita, you have raised a beautiful and caring daughter, and we are lucky to call her our friend.
Thank you.
Wait, it's not over. Wait, hold your horses.
Karan, I think you already know this, but you're a very, very lucky man. So is she. We can see that her love for you is deep and genuine, sincere and strong, just as she is.
We have witnessed the many stages of your relationship, and here we are now, so happy to be celebrating this special day with you and all your friends and family.
We have no doubt that your best adventures, more actions of heroic chivalry, funny contradictions will unfold in the years ahead, and we can't wait to share every single moment with you guys. Best wishes and congratulations to everyone.
All right, let's give another round of applause for Lisa and Nita. See, with the program, we have to sprinkle in a few kind of words between dances because there are just so many people that are so important to Aki and Karan's lives and who have, again, come to celebrate. But of course, we want to continue the energy that we have and bring more to the dance festivities. Is everyone ready for the next dance performance? Coming next up on stage, we're going to invite the Mera clan. We're going to invite the parents and the Virginia friends and the uncles that have joined us from India. So let's give them a round of applause as we get ready for the next performance.
इश्क मिठा गुड़ नालो इश्क मिठा गुड़ नालो इश्क मिठा रब्बा लगना किसे नू जावे गुड़ नालो इश्क मिठा सोनी मेरा दिल ले गई कुड़ी मेरी जान ले गई मुझको यार कोई तो बचाए गुड़ नालो इश्क मिठा सकदी नहीं मैं जी सकदा नहीं कोई दूसरी मैं शर्ता भी रखदा नहीं क्या तेरे बाजो मेरा सच्चियां मोहब्बत वे माही किते और नहीं मिलना
Another round of applause, please.
Woo! That was beautiful.
All right, all right. So Saral is better than Micah, I get that. So if you ever get into a tiff, good luck.
All right. Without further ado, let's keep this going and get the energy up from Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina, and Chicago. We're gonna bring up Derek and Guha. Woo!
All right, wow. Is somebody cutting onions? I promise I will not cry at all, but wow. So far, the night has gone really, really well. How's everyone doing tonight? All right. Good evening. Namaste. First of all, it is a privilege and an honor to speak today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Guha. I'm one of Karan's roommates from college, and I'm from North Carolina, as Richard said. I'm here along with Sam and Omar, who, the four of us, we lived at UVA, and our first year, we lived in quite possibly the most multicultural suite possible. We had two Indian guys, two white guys, two of which were Jewish, a Korean guy, a Chinese guy, and a Palestinian guy. So among all of us, we managed to get along, and the four of us particularly stayed together. And during our third and fourth year, Derek happened to live below us, and we became good friends. Apart from sharing an apartment with Karan, we happened to be in just about every single class together because we were both chemical engineers. Now, Karan was a much better student than I was. I was often not in class, but the two of us were pretty inseparable. It was tough to get away from the guy, to be honest with you. In addition to that, we were 2 weeks apart. I'm 2 weeks older than Karan, and when we finally turned 21, we decided we would throw a giant birthday bash. We would have kegs on kegs, is what we said. And by kegs on kegs, I mean we had 2 kegs. And, we had a giant Facebook invite. We invited over 200 people to our, small apartment in Charlottesville. And we had 104 attendees, at least that's what Facebook says. So I'm pretty proud of that. When I first met Karan, he introduced himself to me as Karan, like Karan Butler, the NBA player. And I'm like, wait, isn't this guy Indian? So unfortunately, I've always called him Karan. And, but you see, the name Karan actually comes from the Hindu epic, the Mahabharata. And in this epic, Karan is a tragic hero. He's born of royalty to a queen, but his mother at a young age has to cast him away, put him in a basket, and send him down the river. And he ends up being raised by a fisherman. And in the epic, I'll cut the story is very long, but in the epic, Karan is a symbol of unwavering loyalty, who knowingly ends up fighting on the losing side of battle. He knows he's fighting his brothers, his actual 5 brothers, the Pandavas, the good guys, but he chooses to remain loyal to his best friends. It was actually kind of tough to find something nice to say about Karan today. If this speech was about Aki, it would have been way easier. You see, Aki is caring, she's compassionate, she's sweet, while Karan is just like, yo dog, hurry up. Let's go get some iced coffee, fam.
So true.
But in all honesty, I'm gonna call him Karan from today onwards, because I consider Karan to be one of the most loyal friends I have. In fact, I consider him to be a brother. And it kind of goes without saying, you look out into this room, you see his friends from high school, UVA, Philly, Merck, all here tonight. Karan has this tendency to keep those close to him always in his presence. To Aki, welcome to the family. You have the most loyal companion in Karan, and I wish you both a lifetime of happiness. Now I'm going to turn it over to Derek to share a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Guha. So good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Derek, and I've known Karan since high school, actually. So it's kind of crazy to think I've known Karan for nearly 15 years now, way before he was this hipster with his Warby Parkers and bomber jackets. And a lot has changed since our days at Fairfax High School. Luckily, that includes his wardrobe of XXL t-shirts with Jay-Z and T.I. in them. But what hasn't changed is that we remain friends even when I've lived halfway across the country. So even though we knew each other in high school, I feel like we didn't truly become friends until we went to UVA. Maybe it was us being only children figuring out how to share for the first time in our lives, or discovering the probably the two least likely people to show up at a Clips rap concert in Charlottesville. But I think we quickly became great friends. In our third year, we discovered that we were actually not only living in the same building, but that actually Karan, Guha, Omar, and Sam would actually be living in the apartment directly above me. And even though Karan thought it was hilarious to throw empty beer cans down on my patio from his balcony, those 2 years at John Street were probably two of the best years of my lives. And this also includes the time we nearly burned down my apartment trying to make Jyoti's famous bondas. And I think we've since given up on that and just accept that she'll always be a much better cook than we both are.
I thought they turned out good, to be honest.
They were pretty good, I think, too. So through those times in college and to this day, Karan has always been a friend I've been able to count on to keep in touch with me. I know I'll always be able to call up Karan anytime, whether it's to complain about work, debate the best ad-libs from the latest Migos album, or talk about Karan's love interests. And that brings us to Aki. So though I didn't live in Philly, I've been hearing about Aki since she was, quote, the beautiful girl on the train with the dope accent. So I've heard about the relationship developed from Karan fearing she'd never want to go out with him, to their first date, and finally to this weekend where I'm so glad to be here celebrating this and seeing you guys get married. So thank you, Karan, for being a great friend. Thank you, Aki, for making him so happy. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for you. And even though I don't think I'll ever forgive you for making me dance in front of 200 people, I'm so grateful to be a part of your wedding. So congrats, guys.
Thank you, Derek and Guha. Guess who's dancing next? This guy. But, I don't have any moves, so I've recruited my little brothers to teach me how to dance. This is Dev. Dev's right here. Is Vasu around? Vasu? Where's Vasu? All right, come through. I need you guys to show me how to dance. All right, let's go. Come on.
Come on down, guys.
All right. So tell me, what's the new move? What are you guys learning in school these days?
The floss.
Sorry?
The floss.
The floss. What's the floss? Show me.
Ready?
Let's do it. Okay. Okay, let me try that. Let me try that. So you go like this, right? Like this? Something like this? No? Okay. Why don't we get the group together? We can show them something better. How about that?
let's give another round of applause for the Verma cousins and the kids.
Thank you. I tried. So next up, we have another speech, and I think it's the last one. Some of you have seen the show Jussi Jaisa Koi Nahi, I'm sure. So Anku has a friend. Her name is Jussi, and there is literally no one like Jussi. She has been instrumental in preparing for this event, in preparing for the week, and I don't need to take any more of a limelight. Jussi, come on up.
Hi everyone. Good evening. I'm Jasdeep. I'm Akshita's friend. I used to be her favorite Punjabi. I think she has expanded that list now. Karan, I hope you're on it. Who in this room knows that 10 years ago Akshita was in a documentary? Raise your hands. Okay, like 2 people. Well, that's how Akshita and I met, on a service trip in India. I'm not going to go into the details of our camel rides, or elephant rides, or socioeconomic concerns, but I will share how I said, 10 years ago, I picture you with a Punjabi. So, maybe because I'm biased, but I'm glad 10 years later, it's happening tomorrow. Even though the first time I met you, Karan, you picked up my accent, you questioned how ethnic I truly am. I'm extremely grateful. I'm so happy to see how happy you make Akshita and how your spirit just livens her, and you're an awesome person. Sorry. It's beautiful to see how happy you make her and how your energy brings her so much joy. Congratulations to you both and the future that lays ahead. That's not my
Thank you, Jussi. Another round of applause for Jussi, please. Okay, we've got something a little bit more interesting. Some of you may know I recently got engaged. Woo! And so my beautiful wife-to-be at some point is right here, and she has choreographed.
Naomi, stand up. Everyone will see you.
And so we're going to put on a bit of a show. All right.
All right, let's give another big round of applause to our performers. All right, how's everybody feeling? Energized by that awesome performance?
Let's hear it, everybody. This energy level seems a little low. Let's hear it, guys. Come on.
Well, I'll let you know there are no more speeches, but we do have a fantastic performance coming up. But before I do that, I do have to say a few words. So,
speech.
I'll keep it short. So, Karan called me one day when I was in Korea, and he said, "Hey man, would you like to MC my Sangeet?" I said, "I don't even know what a Sangeet is." And needless to say, there was a part of me that was absolutely terrified, but at the same time, I said, for Karan, I'll do anything. Because that's also the type of person that Karan is. And I won't go into details because everyone already said every example of what an awesome person Karan is. So that's all I'll say is I said, yes, I'll do it. I live in Shanghai now, and it's gonna be impossible for me to do anything, but I'm gonna give it my best. So I'm shaking up here. But in all honesty, Aki, Karan, I love you both. I've interacted with you, Aki, for the last year before I left. Your passion, your excitement, and honestly, your beauty in bringing APA all of the exciting energy, and then also bringing Karan so much joy. I love you both. So let's give them another round of applause. And before we get to an insane night of dancing, we are now going to invite Richa and Gayatri to tell us what you guys are about to see.
Hi guys. Hi everyone. I'm Richa. I'm Gayatri. Nice to see you all. So we are Karan and Akshita's friends from UVA and Philly. So together with Karan's friends, who are now also Aki's friends, maybe both overlapped a little bit, but mostly Karan's friends. We are coming from various different phases of their life, and we've put together kind of a skit dance kind of situation that we feel accurately describes their relationship from
Very
our
accurate.
perspective. Yeah, from the beginning. So our story starts with Karan growing up in India, and he was a good only child, only son to his parents, thinking about the bahu he would bring home one day for them. But then he moved to the US, and he realized he was more into hip hop than he was into the honeys.
Meanwhile, all the way in the land down under, Akshita was gracefully growing up, hanging with her friends, and looking for her might. Aki moved to the States and released her inner diva for the world to appreciate. One day, on the way to work, Karan saw his destiny from across a train platform, and we're happy to show you what happens next. Enjoy.
जाने जाना ढूंढे तुझे दीवाना सपनों में रोज आए आ जिंदगी में आना जाने जाना ढूंढे तुझे दीवाना सपनों में रोज आए आ जिंदगी में आना सनम
Gucci gang, ooh, that's it right there. Gucci gang, 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 Gucci gang.
नैनो वाले ने नैनो वाले ने छेड़ा मन का प्याला छलकाई मधुशाला मेरा चैन रैन नैन अपने साथ ले गया नैनो वाले ने नैनो वाले ने नैनो वाले ने छेड़ा मन का प्याला छलकाई मधुशाला मेरा चैन रैन नैन अपने साथ ले गया Na diva is a female version of a hustler, of a hustler, of a hustler. Na diva is a female version of a hustler, of a hustler, of a hustler.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਜਿਹਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਏ ਦਿਲ ਟੁੱਟ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ ਵਿਚਾਰਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਯਾਰ ਬਥੇਰੇ ਨੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਤੂੰ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਬਸ ਯਾਰਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਯਾਰ ਬਥੇਰੇ ਨੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਤੂੰ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਬਸ ਯਾਰਾ
ऐसा है कैसा ये प्यार तेरा छोड़ दे छोड़ ना पीछा मेरा
ਰੱਖਦਾ ਵੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਨਖਰਾ ਜੋ ਤਿੱਖੀ ਤਲਵਾਰ ਵਰਗਾ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੂਲੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਟੰਗੀ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਵੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਨਖਰਾ ਜੋ ਤਿੱਖੀ ਤਲਵਾਰ ਵਰਗਾ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੂਲੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਟੰਗੀ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਵੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਨਖਰਾ ਜੋ ਤਿੱਖੀ ਤਲਵਾਰ ਵਰਗਾ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੂਲੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਟੰਗੀ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਵੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਨਖਰਾ ਜੋ ਤਿੱਖੀ ਤਲਵਾਰ ਵਰਗਾ
इशारे तेरे कंगने दे तरीके दिल मंगने दे मेरा भी दिल चोरी कीता फैन तेरा बन गया ये इशारे तेरे कंगने दे तरीके दिल मंगने दे मेरा भी दिल चोरी कीता फैन तेरा बन गया ये
सैया तेरी हर गल झूठियां तेरे हाथ विच किस दी अंगूठियां हर कुड़ी नाल वे तू गल करदा जा मैं तेरे नाल रूठी
तेरे कंगने दे तरीके दिल मंगने दे मेरा भी दिल चोरी कीता फैन तेरा बन गया ये
के लिफाफे में तेरा खत है जानिया ओ तेरा खत है जानिया ना चीज न कैसे पाली जन्नत है जानिया वे ओ मेरे दिल के लिफाफे में तेरा खत है जानिया ओ तेरा खत है जानिया ना चीज न कैसे पाली जन्नत है जानिया वे नज़्म नज़्म सा मेरे फोटो पे ठहर जा तू नज़्म नज़्म सा मेरे फोटो पे ठहर जा मैं ख्वाब ख्वाब सा तेरी आंखों में जागू तू इश्क इश्क सा मेरे रूह में आके बस जा जिस ओर तेरी शहनाई उस ओर मैं भागू रे
Oh God, one more remix.
धड़काए और सीटी बजाए दिल धड़काए सीटी बजाए बीच सड़क पे नखरे दिखाए सारे हो करके इशारे हो लड़की लड़की ओ लड़की आंख मारे ओ लड़की आंख मारे ओ लड़की आंख मारे
जहाँ जहाँ जाऊँ मेरे पीछे पीछे आए गली गली के आशिक तो मेरा होना चाहे सीटी बजाए नखरे दिखाए सीटी बजाए नखरे दिखाए बीच सड़क में हर नाम मेरा पुकारे ओ करके इशारे ओ लड़का
लड़की आंख मारे ओ लड़की आंख मारे better run for cover.